Hello, everyone. It's glad that you guys are joining us here for our Lunar New Year. How is everyone this evening?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. We'll start with some introductions. Dr. Wu, if you want to introduce yourself first, and we'll go around the square.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Jimmy Wu, and I'm VP of faculty at AOMA. And right now I'm teaching Foundation of Chinese Medicine and also the Wild Goose Qigong and also Herbal Classic 1. I have been with the program for 26 years. Today is actually first day of the Lunar Chinese Year. So happy Chinese Year to everyone for the attendance. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Wu. My name is Shen. I have been a faculty member at AOMA for over 20 years as well. And I'm very happy to be a member of this very lovely community, and happy Chinese New Year to you all too.
Thank you, Dr. Shen. And I am Dr. Beth Howlett. I am newer to AOMA, although it's the spring festival and I joined last spring. So I'm approaching my first year with the institution. I'm the Vice President of Academics, and I teach in the doctoral program in the research curriculum and also to our master's students. And thanks to everyone who's gonna view this, and happy Chinese New Year.
Thank you, guys. So to start off a little bit, I don't know if all of our viewers are going to know about the history of Chinese New Year, or if they're going to know about the importance and semblance of the holiday. So let's start there. Dr. Wu, do you want to kick us off with that?
Wow, speak about the Spring Festival. It's actually has a history for over 3,500 years. That's also students asking me, Dr. Wu, how long has acupuncture lasted? I say acupuncture and the Chinese medicine has been lasted for over 3,500 years. It's the same number. Yeah, same number. It is said the Spring Festival started in Shang Dynasty. Yeah, which is 35, almost 3,600 years ago. But then it's get popular in Han Dynasty, which is 202 BC to 220 AD. So during that time, the holiday becomes so popular. So it actually has the legendary story. And it is said that's the time people try to threaten one yearly beast or monster, which tend to eat the livestock, crops, or even people. So people say, let's get rid of it. So that's how it started. Considering China is an agriculture country, actually in ancient time, people do farming work. I would say the arrangement of the time is perfect for farming purpose, because the spring, the summer, the autumn, people have to work and busy. The winter time, people have time to celebrate for the new year and send away the old year. I think that's a little bit about the history. I would let Dr. Shen and also Beth to add about this history. So you guys go ahead.
Yes, again, this is Shen. There's a long history in the celebration of the New Year that also corresponds to the philosophy we usually apply in traditional Chinese medicine, which is the correspondence between the inner universe of our body and the universe of the natural world. And that's a part of a philosophy we call holism. So we celebrate the New Year at the beginning of the year, which will be the first day of the first month of the first year. And we set our life into a new cycle in the new year with a very good start. In Chinese culture, we celebrate not only the New Year, but many other important festivals throughout the year, almost every month, based upon the importance of those days in the agriculture society, in the lunar solar calendar and Chinese lunar solar calendar. So Spring Festival is one of those important holidays that we celebrate in the agriculture society. And during the winter time, it is not only the month of the beginning of the year, but also the time after great harvest, as well as during the time that people are usually idle without a lot of business to do when the weather's bad and people are staying at home with abundance of supplies from the new harvest. They start to celebrate the new year. That's part of the Chinese culture, as well as a similar pattern in many other cultures as well, such as in Western culture, we celebrate Christmas in the winter time after harvest when the weather is cold and we are not engaged in a lot of agriculture activities, etc. So this is a good time for us to enjoy the abundance in our life and celebrate the beginning of a new year.
Yeah, and I would just add, as long as Chinese communities have been in America, this Lunar New Year and Chinese New Year has been an opportunity to celebrate all the cultures that make up America. And I think that for me, as someone who used to experience Thanksgiving and Christmas as an opportunity to visit and see family, to enjoy a large meal together, to cook special foods and think about both the nuclear family and just the larger family in our communities. This is that season for cultures that celebrate New Year around the lunar calendar, which is an agricultural calendar, as both Dr. Shen and Wu talked about, versus a solar calendar that ends December 31st. So it's also that opportunity to embrace other cultures and to think about ourselves in that macrocosm, microcosm way, aligned with the cycles of the moon as well as the sun. And to celebrate these, I think they call them nodes, all those festivals Dr. Shen mentioned, these little moments that join us together over the cycles of the seasons in the year. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. And I think, Dr. Howlett, as you were saying, it'll be this video and also learning through you guys. It'll be a great chance for other people to engage in other cultures and learn more about the Spring Festival and incorporate that into their space, which, you know, there are a lot of Western holidays that people have access to and have engaged with, as you were saying, for years to come. But this does invite a new way for people to engage in something new. And Dr. Shen, you were saying, invite a season of like wholeness and newness into your life. So how could some of our viewers, let's say, invite and start off their season of wholeness on this February 1st to jumpstart their new year and celebrate into the Lunar New Year? Dr. Shen, do you want to take that one?
Sure. It's usually the second or the third new moon of the winter season after the solstice. That will be the beginning of the new year in Chinese lunar solar calendar system. And during this season, leading up to the first day of the new year in that lunar solar calendar, people will start to get busy pretty early. Generally speaking, in the months leading up to the Chinese New Year, people will start to prepare for the celebration by usually sweeping the house, cleaning everywhere throughout the household, which is very similar to the culture we experience in many societies and communities. And also big shopping. You have to materially prepare for the arrival of the new year. Shopping is a big part of the preparation leading up to the celebration of the new year. And when it is around the new year, we also plan reunion dinners most of the Chinese people will travel far distance from where they are back to where their hometown, where their nuclear families, where their parents are usually, and to start a reunion dinner. And in different parts of China, people eat different food to celebrate the New Year. Some of food are considered to be iconic or symbolic for the New Year celebration. For example, in the northern part of China, you're supposed to be eating dumplings. And in southern part of China, it is also very common to eat fish. That actually implies the surplus of the season and the year. And during that time, you also exchange gifts and sometimes red envelopes with some money to each other. Very similar to the culture mm, during Christmas, people exchange their gifts and even sometimes money with each other. And also, even leading up to the actual celebration, most of the Chinese families will have to write and pass the Spring Festival couplets at the door to create the festival atmospheres with good words and celebratory words on those festival couplets as well. So those are some of those activities people are traditionally engaged in the celebration of the Chinese New Year. Of course, that's not all of them. Dr. Wu can probably add more of what people usually do to celebrate the New Year.
Thank you, Dr. Shen. Yeah, because when I grew up, so same as Dr. Shen, we had all those ceremonies to go through. So we are very much familiar with that. So like I said at the beginning, according to the legendary story, this is a way to get rid of Nian. Nian, which is Nian, is just a beast animal and is the monster, we get rid of it. So our initial purpose is to get rid of this Nian. So at that time, people do the fireworks, the firework with a very loud noise and try to get rid of the beast. So that's the initial purpose. That's why, like Dr. Shen mentioned before, we also have the fireworks. Yeah, the fireworks, they have this little bit of gunpowder in a special device and let it jump into the sky like our July 4th. We have this kind of the fireworks. By the way, the gunpowder, who invented the gunpowder? Is actually from Chinese herbalist. So they invented the gunpowder in North and South dynasty, because that time the emperor sent them out to looking for the herbs for longevity to boost their energy. And which kind of the herb has that function? Of course, the young herbs. So that's why they use the sulfur, which is from Vikelo, the fire under the ground from the earth. That's the sulfur is one ingredient. The second ingredient, the charcoal. The charcoal. The charcoal is from wood, and that's the fire. And the third one is the fire nitrate. Yeah, fire nitrate. So if you have the one part of the fire nitrate, 2 parts of the sulfur, 3 parts of the charcoal, and you have your gunpowder. Yeah, so Chinese herbal doctors in the ancient time invented this one, but now we use this for entertainment. So the initial purpose of this Spring Festival is to get rid of the beast, but now it has more function of the entertainment. People enjoy it. Like look at Dr. Shen's background. There are a lot of the fortune bag, and I have a fortune bag here too. Yeah, cannot say much. Yeah, so this kind of the thing is that people share. Again, like Dr. Shen said, is Eastern and Western, we share same kind of the culture, and we exchange our gifts and so on. And of course, we eat a lot. because that's the time after autumn season, after the harvest, you stored all those stuff, your meat and your dumpling and so on. So that's why people enjoy, because they should. So after hard work for the whole year, that's the time to relax and to visit friends, visit relatives, and so on. So it's again, 3,500 years ago, it has its initial purpose, but now the purpose is shifted more for the entertainment, like Dr. Shen said. Beth, do you want to?
Yeah. The only thing I'll add is that I've heard fireworks all around me, and I live in an apartment building, and I heard my neighbors saying, you know, why are we hearing all these fireworks? Like, oh, it's Texas. And I was like, no, it's Chinese New Year.
Yes.
And, you know, I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. You're wearing a beautiful red coat, and Dr. Shen's background is such a vibrant red. And that is the color of the hongbao, those red envelopes. And really, it's the color of life and vitality. So the fireworks are often covered in red. If one wants to sort of harness the auspiciousness, one typically wears red at this time. And just for, you know, our viewers who aren't as familiar, it's the color of life and vitality. So now is the time and season to wear red to reflect that life energy that's giving birth at the Spring Festival.
Beth, I remember you stayed in China, Nanjing,
I
for
did.
a while.
I did.
Have you had an experience there for the Spring Festival?
You know, it's funny, I wasn't going to say it, but you asked, and it relates to fireworks. I was traveling in and out of the city, and I was flying in during the festival time, and everyone was setting off fireworks in their backyard. And so flying into the city, you could see all these fireworks going off everywhere in the city. It was one of the most beautiful things. That and the sort of shared meal. So not just eating together with dumplings, you know, you eat the food, but it's also that ritual of coming together, making the dumplings, laughing, being with your elders, having them show you how to make the dumplings. It's the whole ritual of the food, not just the food itself. And so I've been blessed to have some of those experiences, yes.
Yeah, the most, I remember, it's not just the eat, it's the preparation, it's the whole procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's lovely. And I think that people are going to love hearing about that and inviting some red. I have red nails, which doesn't count as much, but I don't know nearly as many red clothes as I wish I could for the season. But inviting that, you know, health and vitality into their life this February, which is fantastic. And thinking about, you know, the ritual of dining together and making this meal, that in and of itself, I would say, is very nutritious and energizing activity of sitting with your family and celebrating, getting out of the winter, even though it's still a little cold right now, but getting out of the winter season and celebrating with the spring. Dr. Howlett, could you speak a bit on the nutritional aspects and values of, you know, one, dining together with your family in this big celebration, and then also some of the traditional foods that people eat during this time period?
Yeah, I'm going to punt some of the traditional foods of the season to my betters and peers, but I want to mention something we haven't talked about. It's the new year, but in Chinese culture, the years are named with an astrological animal and also assigned an element. So in terms of nutrition, if we're going to talk about eating with the year, we're also having to pay attention to what kind of year is it. And it's the water tiger this year. And so the dominant, I guess, guest energy coming in this year is the water element. And so water is associated with the season of winter. So right now, eating for that season and dining for that season is very appropriate. So that's things that are deeply nourishing, like slow cooked soups, things that look like have that resonant magic with the water element and its organ, the kidney. So things like beans that look like beans. There's a number of tonics that nourish the kidney, things like reishi mushroom. So, and a very appropriate thing to eat during Chinese New Year would be a slow cooked soup that would have beans, mushrooms, the fish that was mentioned earlier, that's also a homonym for abundance, because it's the season of abundance, cooked together in a large bowl that everyone could enjoy together, would be a very appropriate to the season, to the water element, and then to resonating with the kidney energy that's associated with the water element of this incoming water tiger year. So, it's somewhat about enjoying the foods of the festival, but it's also knowing the energetic and aligning your choices in each season with that energy. So it's the water tiger year.
Oh, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because it is the water tiger year, and we stepped past that, but that is a very important a part of celebrating the Spring Festival and the Lunar New Year, right? So do we want to talk more about I know we've gotten into the semblance of eating with the water element in mind, some of the other importances of it being water tiger year opposed to being a fire or earth tiger year?
Oh, I wasn't as prepared for that one.
Anyone can answer that question. That's not just you. It's okay. An open one for anyone, I promise.
Yeah, I defer to my elders on this call and my betters, because they have a far deeper knowledge of these things than I do, I have to say. Yeah.
Dr. Shen, do one of you guys want to jump in about the importance of the water tiger year?
You have a cycle of the years within every 60 years. So the animal years will make up 12 years, and 5 of the 12 years will make a full circle, and comes to the Chinese 5-element theory as well. You have the 5 elements. Dr. was actually teaching that class, of course. You have wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and every 60 years will be 5 of those 12 years. Those 5 elements will make a circle. So right now it's a water, and then the next time after 12 years will be a different element, right? Will be wood. Is that going to be the next time? It's going to be wood tiger after 12 years, because after water is going to be wood, and then fire, metal, etc. Every 12 years that repeats itself.
Exactly. Just like Dr. Beth and Dr. Shen said, is the repeat. So that's about the Chinese philosophy, or even Chinese culture. What is the Chinese culture? If I use one word to say this one, is a circle. Every 5 years you go through the 5 elements, then times 12, that's the 60, and every 60 years you repeat. You have the larger circle and you have the smaller circle plus circle. It's just like a year. We have the spring, summer, autumn, and the winter season. Then next year you repeat. Next year you repeat. It's just like that way. But of course, during a different year, and the 5 element is different, 12 animals are different. So that's why we say the qi is also different year by year. Yeah, that's a very interesting phenomenon.
No, that is very interesting. And I can only imagine that there are probably some people this year who are stepping back into their water tiger year after, oh gosh, well, however many years it would have been when they would have engaged with their first. And I feel like that seems very symbolic for a number of individuals. And I can only, hope that I make it to my next water tiger year many, many years from now. But no, that is.
If I can add one more thing, just about the tiger, because you asked about nutrition, and each of the animals has their own character, and the tiger is a cat. And we just came out of rat and ox, which have very different characteristics than a cat. And the tiger is bold and curious. And so you asked about nutrition, and it's one of those things where it can be a temptation, but maybe this is the year to try some things that are a little bit new. And I have to say, in Central Texas, I am shocked by how many Chinese nutritional herbs / foods are available just in the general grocery store. So if one's interested in eating with Chinese nutritional principles and trying unusual foods, it would be in keeping with the tiger spirit to be a little adventurous. So whether it's trying Buddha's hand, which you can get in the grocery store right now, or some of the more aromatic greens that are a little unusual, it's also, in addition to nourishing water, one also might want to nourish a little bit of the spirit of the tiger. And too much of anything is not a good thing, but maybe a little bit of food curiosity is in keeping with the tiger spirit.
No,
In
I think
terms of
that's-
nutrition, and food, there's also another traditional food in the as a part of the celebration of the New Year in the Chinese lunar solar calendar is orange. Orange carries a similar pronunciation as jie. Jie means success or prosperous. So it's traditionally used as part of the Chinese New Year banquet. That carries a lot of vitamins and a lot of minerals within those fruits. Besides that, you have a balance of the food at those Chinese reunion dinner. This is one of the most important meal of the entire year, and people are trying to make it as abundant as possible. And most ideal will be a little bit left over, so that will be a surplus to the next year. And if that repeats, that makes the wish of make every year with surplus. And orange, you have rice, you have niangao, and Dr. Wu was kind enough to send me some niangao as a very nice symbolic celebration, wishing me good luck for the new year. Niangao is a lot of times translated as nian cake, which is actually made from sticky rice and some other fruits within it. It's very tasty, but it balances out the excessive meat we eat. We usually will include a lot of meat in dumplings, such as beef or pork or lamb. Then, of course, you have to eat fish. Fish resembles surplus because the pronunciation of fish is yu. Yu usually is very similar to the pronunciation of surplus. So if you eat fish, that means you're going to have enjoy the abundance in the next year, even with surplus in the next year. So we eat a lot of fish, and that is delivering the message of may there be surplus every year, abundance every year. So we have relatively balanced diet even during the festival celebrations. Fruits, carbs, all kinds of meat, and cold dishes, hot dishes, something relatively pungent in flavor, spicy in flavor, plain in flavor. We involve all kinds of elements within the New Year celebration from the nutrition perspective.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it sounds like everything kind of naturally falls into a balance with the way that the meals and the activities are set up for the Spring Festival, which I think is also sounds very symbolic with the time. I do want to touch a bit on before we close up shop here. We had mentioned, Dr. Shen, you'd mentioned about cleaning, preparing your house for the new year. And how people can set up their household, whether that be, Dr. Howlett, as you were saying, inviting a little bit more spice, curiosity, boldness into their life, or, inviting, things for success and abundance into their home this season. What kind of specific things could they do? I'll start off differently. I'll start off with Dr. Wu this time.
Great, thanks. So, the next few, in February 5th, March 5th and 6th, we have a seminar, which is Feng Shui for the health care and also for the clinic decoration. So talk about the decoration, that's the very important for our Spring Festival too. If we take a look about like the Dr. Beth mentioned before, what I wear is red, and also Dr. Shen wear the red clothes, and his background is totally red. So that's a very important part for decoration and also for Feng Shui. And most of the Feng Shui tools, they also made of red. Yeah, so like the tie, the Chinese tie made of red, and also like the fortune bag made of the red, and so on. So the red corner is number one is initially we say this is to get rid of the beast and the monsters which eat the crops and also the livestock. So the red is also the corner, like our traffic light is red. Red means stop. Yeah, stop. Don't get close to me. So it's for protection. That's number one. So number two, the red color make people happier. They're cheerful. Winter season, normally people suffer from seasonal depression. Yeah, depression is down, their energy drop. So now you have this red color, make them happier. And if I say red color, my heart beats immediately get up. So that's dancing and so on. So you say that is the decoration. That's why Feng Shui is very important for healthcare. And Feng Shui is teach you how to take advantage from the nature. Through decorations, through the setting and resetting of the furniture and so on. So that's the part of this, we say, ancient philosophy, which is about the harmony, about the balance. So you mentioned it before about this year, we say is a water tiger. Yeah, so tiger means the power and the energy, which is good, but then need to be balanced. So that's why I'm so glad it is not a fire tiger for this year during the COVID-19, it's a water tiger. Yeah, so water is a soft, is easygoing, is cold-natured, but a tiger is very young in nature and is a strong energy. It's get balanced. By the way, those people that born in the tiger year, so their animal sign is a tiger. So what that means is the tiger is full of energy. And then if your birth year is also tiger, that means your energy could be too much. Yeah, too much. To those people, if they have animal sign as the tiger, what we recommend them is to wear this kind of a tie here. You say made of the jade. I have the jade, piece of the jade here. That's what such supposed to wear. 2 years ago, that's I'm red. I'm red. I have to wear this one and keep inside. Yeah, this is again for protection. It's to protect you. So that's why we say the color. Yeah, the red color is so important for protection, for entertainment, and for healing. Yeah, so the decoration is a part of our spring festival. Everything red, red, red.
Yeah, even in Western culture, red is color of celebration as well, and then also red emblem joy, vibrance, as Dr. Beth mentioned a little bit earlier, and good luck, right? So around Christmas, it's very similar. The way we celebrate Christmas here in the U.S., in the West, is very similar to the activities we take in the East when we celebrate the Chinese New Year. In terms of feng shui preparation, at the entrance of your house, you need to have some symbolic decorations. In Western culture, you will have wreaths or bells or those things at the door. And in Eastern culture, we're going to have the couplets with good words, red color. Even gold color is very commonly used in the celebration of Chinese New Year. And in Western culture, we use a Christmas tree, right? In Chinese culture, in a lot of areas, especially in the South, such as in Canton province, Hong Kong, those southern area, you will have to have a bonsai or, or even larger pot of orange tree. It's called golden orange tree in your house during the season as a symbol of good luck and success. So you also, from the Feng Shui perspective, in both those two cultures, you will try to speak nicely to each other. You avoid certain bad topics such as politics or disasters or deaths or those things you don't think will bring any good luck to your household or the community will be the things you want to avoid during that time as well. You also exchange gifts. You exchange celebrations and auspicious good words to each other to cultivate a very positive energy in your environment. That makes a part of your feng shui as well. So the spirit of the festivals, including Christmas, including the Chinese New Year celebration, is basically for peace, love, prosperity, good luck, celebration, and union, and success. So anything that will contribute to this atmosphere is a part of welcoming feng shui in this environment.
That's lovely. And I know that those are all things that I think people could invite more into their space, especially this season, as Dr. Wu was saying, with COVID going on and everything. It's very nice to have this being a water tiger year where we're having a sense of balance and, a way to invite, prosperity and success and maybe a little bit of calmness, even though a bit of boldness with our tiger year. But a success for everyone would be absolutely fantastic. And I do want to thank you all so much for joining me in this conversation this evening. It has been so wonderful, so thought-provoking, and I know that so many people are going to enjoy this as well. Before we close off, do you guys want to do some outros where people can find you online, how they can find you at AOMA, etc. Dr. Wu, I know that you had mentioned that you have a Feng Shui course coming up on the 5th and the 6th of March. If you want to speak a little bit more on that.
Yeah, thank you, Maxwell. I really enjoy this evening's interview, and thank you for this to organize this interview. To me, what I would say is the Chinese medicine is a very important component of Chinese culture. You really cannot separate Chinese medicine from the Asian culture or ancient philosophy. They are tied up tightly. Yeah, so that's why I'm so glad that at AOMA we have this kind of the interview and we have this kind of the tradition. I remember every year we would celebrate the Chinese New Year with our students, and before COVID-19, and we would invite all the students, all the faculty, our staff together. We even have the night dancing, and we have the dumpling that Dr. Shen mentioned it before, because everyone become part of this culture and a part of this experience. That's what I like AOMA a lot. I would say to our prospective students, yeah, this is really definitely a good experience and join us. And also to the March 5th and 6th, my Feng Shui lectures. I have a lot to share, I have all the Feng Shui designs, and it's a hands-on style because we have a lot of case discussions, because people wonder, I learned this Feng Shui, I want to use it. I said, definitely. And like my bed, where should I locate my bed? And my mirror, where should I hang on mirror? And the wind chime, should I put it outside or inside and so on? Or I got a bagua from my friend. Should I hang the front door or anywhere else? So that's the detailed information we will share. And I'm ready and welcome to join this hands-on style lecture. Great, thanks.
And thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Wu. And I know that people are going to be so excited to join you on the 5th and the 6th and continue learning and being a part of this tight-knit community and just growing together, and which has been beneficial for me, at least I'll say, to remind everyone. And also, Dr. Shen, if you want to do an outro for yourself, where can people book appointments with you at the AOMA clinics?
You can head to aoma.edu and click on the clinic tab on the top, and you're going to find our contact information. You can call the front desk and make an appointment with one of the excellent and experienced practitioners at our professional clinic. We have a very strong team of practitioners at the AOMA professional clinic, as well as being the supervisors of the student clinic, including Dr. Feng, Dr. Zhang, Dr. Lila Song, and we have some other practitioners joining us at the south. Is Laguna practicing right now with us? And we used to have Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Morris, but we have some of the faculty members also practice in the professional clinic at both north and south location, for which you can find information at our website, aoma.edu. Our student clinic also serves the healthcare needs of our community at relatively affordable price, where you're going to be treated by our senior students supervised by licensed practitioners. Usually sessions about 90 minutes at the student clinic. At least at the north, we are very fully booked at the student clinic. Our patients really enjoyed a great quality of service at both our student and professional clinic for their health concerns. And in the new year, we wish you healthy and happy with great health. And for a better health, we are always here to help you at our AOMA clinics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shen. And I do know that now for the month of February, the AOMA South clinics, which you said the AOMA North clinics for the student clinics are pretty booked up right now. But luckily, the student level 1 clinics are doing a 50% off sale for the month of February. So it's a great way to invite health and vitality into your new year and ring in the Spring Festival. Dr. Howlett, is there anything that you want to say to our future students, our current students, as an education leader?
Yeah, you can find me out and about on campus, oftentimes hanging out by the pond that you see in my background with the beautiful wind chime that says peace on a daily basis. Similarly, you could go to aoma.edu to look up any information about the programs. I'm happy to answer any questions about students who are interested in studying Chinese medicine as a holistic practice. It includes these energetic concepts, nutritional concepts, the whole idea of yang sheng and understanding the body as it's understood through the channel system and through the lens of Chinese culture. It's been my great pleasure to find this course of study in my life, and it's my passion to share it with others. So if you look me up on the website, I'm always happy to give a tour, answer a question, and support our students on campus and those who are looking to join the program. So thank you for this opportunity, and many blessings, happiness, and health to everyone on this day of the Spring Festival. Happy New Year.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us. Yes, thank you.